Man, what's good, everybody? How we doing? We're back with another one. Didn't I say that I'd be more consistent on this channel when I came back? Now look at me, posting another video in the last, 1 or 2 days? That's what I'm talking about. Consistency is the name of the game. But anywho, this was my leg day. This was more like quad focused. I typically like to separate my leg days into 2 days, all quads and all hamstrings. And I've been doing that for the last like 3-4 years now, and it's pretty nice. I used to do hamstrings and quads on the same day, but it just I couldn't really train effectively when I did that. I think that having an all quad day and an all hamstring day is a lot more effective for me, because it gives me like better muscle focus and mind muscle connection. When you try to like hit quads and hamstrings hard in the same session, one like typically gets like shortchanged. You know what I mean? Like splitting them lets you fully lock in on the target muscle, control reps, and actually feel the workout where you want it. You know what I mean? And also you can hit like higher quality volume. You have improved recovery. And it's just a better weak point development, because if like one side of your leg lags, like and it's kind of common with like hamstrings, this setup lets you like bring it up without your quads dominating like every session. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I kind of do that now, and I feel like that's worked for me in the last couple years, even with all like my injuries and everything. So I decided to do like heel elevated squats this day. I think doing this is a great quad focus workout in my opinion, and standing on like a plate like I am right now, I think it helps if you have very like just I don't know what's the word, like you can't really like, you have really poor ankle flexibility. For some of you new guys who have joined my channel, and I appreciate you guys, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I tore both of my Achilles. So it's been like probably 1 or 2 years now, and I haven't, and this is on me, but I haven't been able to really get into this like position where I don't need this plate to like squat. And normally this plate is mainly for just like quads, but like I guess like doing it without a plate and hitting hamstrings and doing squats in a traditional sense, it's very difficult for me, because you got to have really good ankle mobility. So while I am doing a quad focused workout, when doing hamstrings I kind of do miss doing just traditional squats, but I have to work towards that. I have to make sure I'm doing the proper stretching and making sure that my ankle is strengthening and flexibility. You know what I mean? So but I have other means. I need to just work on that. That's the thing that I need to personally work on. But don't tear your Achilles. Just don't care. Just don't do it. Don't do it, because that shit sucks, man. You gotta wait a year to go back and do any type of physical activity. You can't fucking work out. That shit sucks. All right. But anywho, when doing like heel elevated squats, at least in my opinion, it's gonna kind of humble you, because it's I'm not doing a whole lot of weight, and that's fine, because I think that when your heels are elevated, it's all quads, and it kind of takes your hamstrings out of the workout. So you won't be able to do a whole lot of weight if this is something that you would like to try. You know what I'm saying? So this is all quads. So you naturally would have to go a little bit lighter for yourself, and when doing these reps, and that's what I do. So it took me a while to get to this particular weight. And that's okay because I've tried to just control it as much as possible. Right here, I do 225 and this felt pretty heavy. I haven't really like hit 225 for like hill elevated squats, but it felt all right. Even though I thought it was a little heavy, I was able to control it. So and that's all that matters. I'm not trying to just blow through this workout as quickly as possible. Right there, you're noticing that I'm pausing a bit at the bottom, and I do that because I want to be able to stretch the quad as much as possible. And I feel like that can't be achievable if I'm just like, you know, blowing through it and just not really having that mind muscle connection, you know. So while it looks like I'm not really doing a whole lot of weight, it makes a difference when you're trying to just control every part of the movement and you're trying to pause at the bottom. So it definitely makes it a bit more harder, and you know, especially if it's just quads and your heels are elevated, in my opinion. Whenever I first started doing this, I was like, man, this is really, it felt a little different, I'm not gonna lie. And I just could not go as heavy as I would be able to if I was just doing like traditional squats without the plate. And you know, that's more hamstrings. Like I said before, you're taking out your hamstrings and it's just purely quads. So if you have weak quads like I did, you're not gonna be able to do that much weight, you know what I mean? But you can work your way up like, you know, I'm doing, and eventually you might be able to do, you know, 315, you know, however much weight you think you can do in a control pace, you know what I mean? So after that, I came over here and did some Bulgarian split squats, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I love doing some Bulgarian split squats. I know that is a very unpopular thing to say because most people I know fucking hate Bulgarian split squats. And I was that kind of person too. I was like, fuck, I hate these with a burning passion, but I have been getting some great results from doing Bulgarian split squats. And honestly, I feel like I'm a little bit stronger because of them, you know? So I gotta give credit where credit is due. Right here is a more quad focused Bulgarian split squat. And you know, when you're setting up, you have to make sure that your lead leg, or your lead foot rather, is more closer to your body. And if you're trying to target mainly your hamstrings, you're going to be stepping out further than you would for, you know, your quads, you know. So it's a great workout, dude. I love doing this. I try to make sure I incorporate, you know, controlling the reps, and every time I go down, I want to make sure I pause for a bit, then go back up, pause for a bit, then go back up. And it burns like hell, but that's what we want, baby. Come on, man. We here to make some gains, dog. But anywho, I will say though, I prefer setting up with a bench. I don't like using the what do you call those things? Those box jump boxes that people use at the gym. I used to set up with that, and let me tell you, it used to fuck up my balance so much. I used to be rocking back and forth. I used to not be able to go as heavy, but when my foot is in this little crevice of the bench, it locks it in place, so it keeps my balance on point, so I could just focus more on completing the reps, you know? Yeah, sometimes I might lose my balance sometimes, but overall, my balance is pretty, you know, spot on. There is nothing more annoying than having to constantly worry about your balance when doing this workout. So if you have problems, you know, with your balance and you're doing this on a box jump box, I would say try doing this at a bench, you know? So make sure your foot is in that little crevice, damn it, is what I meant, crevice, and just see if that works for you, you know what I mean? Because man, and funny thing about my gym, it's kind of small, so you probably can't see it in this video, but whenever I would go and try to do Bulgarian split squats, I have to always secure this particular bench because, as you can see, the benches behind me are way too fucking close together. And now you're probably asking me, why don't you just move it, Jamal? Well, I can't because they're fucking bolted to the ground, unfortunately. So, and if this particular bench that I'm using isn't available, I have to do it on those behind me. And God forbid somebody next to me is doing chest flies and their fucking dumbbells coming right to my fucking face. So I have to always secure this one, which is a little annoying. But I digress. I went all the way up to 100s and man, that was exhausting. But when you're doing this workout, it's very grueling in my opinion. But I think that you will definitely see results, if you keep at it. And I think that whenever I would go and do, hill elevated squats, or hack squats or Smith machine squats, I always feel a bit stronger, and I have to credit that to doing, Bulgarian split squats, man. And I get that it's, just soul crushing, and I understand that, but stay with it. I promise you, the gains will come. I wouldn't lie to you, bro. I would not lie to you. But after that, I went over here and did some leg extensions, and same, method. I try to hold at the top for a little bit and come down slowly. Then I go do it again, and I just, repeat that, until they fucking get stiff and they fucking hurt. But I think that leg extensions, if done properly, can give you some really nice leg gains. And in my opinion, I think it really helps develop that cool looking teardrop that you see in people's quads. That's something that I'm trying to really get for my legs too. And I kind of start to notice it a little bit more. I think it helps that you diet too, to help bring that out as well. But sometimes I start my quad days with leg extensions, and and then I go to Bulgarian split squats, and that really tears my shit up. But very good essential leg workout in my opinion. And then I came over here and did some goblet squats. Again, a very good and great quad dominant workout here. I hold the dumbbell like this because it definitely protects my back when I do it this way, as opposed to sometimes holding it in the middle of my chest. And it's a great workout because you're able to am I fucking having a stroke or something? What's going on here? My goodness. But what I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, was that you're able to increase the weight at your own discretion. So right here, I'm doing 45, and I think I go up to 65. I gotta check again, but yeah, I think that is, again, you're gonna notice a pattern with my workouts here. Every time I'm going down, I'm pausing for a bit and going up. Now, I know that sometimes people like to work out a little bit more differently, and that's fine. But for me, I like to feel, and have that, I like to have that mind. I feel like I'm talking to my therapist here. I just like to feel like I'm being heard. Anywho, I like to, really have that mind muscle connection. You know what I mean? So, and I think that having a slight pause makes all the difference. I mean, this is coming from a guy who would go and just try to lift as much as he could and not really feel the muscles that he's trying to hit. Don't get me wrong, I got strong doing it that way, but I'm just not trying to be a power lifter, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to be more of a bodybuilder. And sometimes that means slowing down the reps and actually trying to feel, I guess feel would be a great word for that, but feel the body parts that you're trying to hit. And there's nothing worse than not feeling the body part that you're trying to hit for that day. So that's all I'm saying, guys. But hey, this was my quad day, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you incorporate it into your leg day, but until next time, guys, be on the lookout for the next workout video, and stay blessed, y'all. Peace.